Welcome into Crypto Info, Blockchain Made Easy with your host, Frank the Crypto Tank. Guys, welcome. I hope you had the best weekend. We're here on a lovely, sunny Monday morning here in Colorado. 7 a.m. Mountain Time here on Monday, the 27th. And I hope you all are doing well, and I hope crypto finds you all well this morning. This morning's episode is an update on the Clarity Act. Please tap that like and subscribe button down below if you do not mind. It helps us out a great deal here on the channel. Let's get this thing rocking this morning. Welcome to this episode of Tank Talks. We are covering the Clarity Act. 4 words that could change crypto forever, according to my notes here. Right now, it's the most important piece of digital asset law in Washington. We know that the Genius Act has just passed. That was arguably the most important. The Clarity Act is going to delineate the lines between the CFTC, Commodities Future Trading Commission, and also the SEC, which is the Securities and Exchange Commission. So it will delineate the lines and keep them each in their lane as far as what each branch is regulating, essentially. What do they have control over is what we're after here. Okay, this is what the Clarity Act lays out. It lays out who has control over what. Let's go ahead and get into it. First off, I have about 5 directions I could go with this. I'm going to start with this direction. Let's go with this. Okay, so the official name is Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025. Okay, this is the official name. This is the one that creates a shared framework, as I've mentioned, between the SEC and the CFTC. So in plain English, it finally draws a line between what's a security and what is a digital commodity. And of course, the commodity would be governed by the CFTC and the security would be governed by the SEC. So it puts CFTC, of course, in charge of the commodity side. That includes most of the assets we trade daily, just so you know. They're mostly commodities. And so, yes, potentially XRP could be falling under this category as well. And let's get into this a little bit more. Clarity Act passed the House of Representatives on July 17th, 2025. Mario, welcome into the channel. Everybody, welcome into Crypto Info, Blockchain Made Easy. Please tap like and subscribe down below. It helps us out a great deal on the channel. We appreciate you very much. This wasn't even close, by the way, this vote. It was 294 votes to 134 votes. The Clarity Act passed the House of Representatives July 17th. That's bipartisan support and action, by the way, when we see a vote like that. Now, the next step to the Senate. This is where we've been waiting. The House, we've been here. It was received by the Senate on September 18th and sent to the Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee, where it's been sitting and waiting until now. And that's where we'll get our decision shortly here, hopefully. No vote yet. No markup meeting schedule just yet. Remember, we announced in our episode yesterday, we covered that you have to have your markup meeting first, and then we can move forward. But they have to agree first. Staff draft work is underway as of now, supposedly. I asked, we'll get into it later, but I asked AI why it's being suppressed, and it said it's not being suppressed. It's just being worked on. Because we're not hearing any news about it. It doesn't mean it's being suppressed. We're not hearing anything on it because they're working on it. We're waiting for the Banking Committee to finish its hearings and bring it to the Senate floor. So these are our next steps. And if the Senate passes it, then the 2 chambers will reconcile any differences. And then it goes to the president for signature. And I think we know that Mr. Trump is on board. Realistically, best case here, early, depending on what it says. It depends on what gets drafted. He has already stated he wants something clear and concise that lays it all out, even if it kind of like takes a little longer. So that's what we're looking at on his end for expectations. Now, realistically, best care early 2025 before it's fully law. We'll have to see. Why does it even matter for XRP holders, for all of us? Because once this passes, guys, digital assets like XRP get a clear lane to operate under the CFTC. No more of this nonsense with the SEC. coming after them and all this backlash that we've been dealing with for years, all of us, not just Ripple and XRP. It means the market makers get rules for dual registration and portfolio margining, by the way. It means they can actually start to plan and actually start to play ball. We want to start talking financial terms now. This is big stuff. It means tighter spreads and deeper liquidity for the market. And we've talked about what all this means. And liquidity is king when it comes to finance and when it comes to markets. We know this. So if it means tighter spreads, deeper liquidity, and better access for institutions, what do you think that means for price action? Not a financial advisor. Do not ever buy or sell anything that's what I say or do. This is strictly for informational, educational purposes only, and sometimes a little bit of entertainment. You'll have to consult your RIA or your registered investment advisor that likes to come and sit at your kitchen table and tell you what 401k you should be hopping into and out of and so forth. Nothing wrong. We love our financial advisors. The guy or gal that comes and sits at your kitchen table, we love them and they're fantastic. And we hope that, they continue to help folks across this great world. But there are some who say, you know what? I think we'll learn this on our own and do better than the advisors do. So this is the channel you have found. Never financial advice, by the way. And if you connect the dots, the pairs perfectly. It really does pair perfectly with the Genius Act. This is what we're looking for. See, the Genius Act and the Clarity Act are a 1-2 punch that operate together. One is kind of almost no good without the other. Those two operate in tandem and lay out the completion of what regulation ought to be and is for institutions so that they can play ball properly and uphold their fiduciary responsibility with their shareholders and their clients in general, right? Because they have a responsibility. They can't get them into things that don't provide at least monthly attestations and reporting and things like this to say where they are with full transparency and visibility and falling under regulated guidelines and laws and structures and things, right? Because if they don't, what happens? Well, then they end up, playing in that uncertain territory. And we know what happens then. And they're not even permitted to do that, the institutions, because, again, they have a fiduciary responsibility to their clients. And they've told them they would not mess with anything funny. And they can't mess with anything funny. So once regulations are in play, I hope you are all understanding the truth of all of this, which is what's happening now. These institutions are going to be diving in headlong into some of these crypto projects that we've been laying out. Now, if you connect the dots here, it does pair perfectly with the Genius Act. That law handles stablecoins like Ripple's RLUSD, giving Treasury and banks a federal rulebook for issuing them. So now we get two lanes coming together, and this is the bang-up 1-2 punch. One for stablecoins, the Genius Act, which has already been passed, and one for digital commodities coming up, the Clarity Act right now. And right in between those lanes, the XRP ledger sits as the bridge. We got a bogey coming in. Get. We've got, I'm not interested in getting stung by a wasp. I have a couple of wasp friends that like to buzz by the tower early in the morning here at the studio. So now that those two lanes come together, guys, one for stable dollars and one for digital commodities, we find XRPL, the XRP ledger, sitting as the bridge between these two. Now, if the Clarity Act crosses the finish line, guys, and Ripple and the other builders can expand U.S.-based liquidity corridors without any more regulatory fog, look out. Because banks can produce solutions on XRPL with policy risk removed once that happens. I hear them. Treasuries and funds can hold and settle in compliant digital commodities now. It's massive for mainstream adoption for crypto, mainstream adoption. Remember, the Clarity Act does not label XRP directly, but it defines the rules and decides how the SEC and CFTC treat secondary markets and which lane is which. So even without naming names, it creates regulatory certainty where we've had gray areas in the past. This changes the whole game concerning institutions jumping in to the crypto space and sending prices of some of these assets that some of us hold to the frickin' moon. Never financial advice. Do not buy or sell anything because of what I say or do. And that's what unlocks real volume, by the way. Guys, if you zoom out in the timeline, here's what it looks like. Okay, the House already passed it. Okay, Senate committee in progress. Rulemaking clocks to start once it's law. As soon as it's law, then the rulemaking starts. 180, 178, 170, 170, 60-day deadlines or so. These are the deadlines for the first round of joint rules. Okay, so about 180, 170, 160-day deadlines. And those add up. And so by the time we look at this, the completion of this, we're looking at mid-2026 for the first operational framework to even kick in. You see how long this stuff takes? Okay, so the bottom line, as of October here, Clarity Act has cleared the House and is parked in the Senate Banking Committee, waiting for resolution here. So the next big domino to drop here, of course, after the stablecoin law is this here that we're dealing with now, and XRP holders and builders and its framework can finally bring the U.S. into alignment with global regulators. And this whole thing turns on, and the flipping of the switch that we've all been talking about finally turns on. We have clear lanes, clear rules, and clear liquidity moving forward. That is real clarity. And by the way, let's take a quick peek at our crypto market today. Guys, by the way, welcome into Crypto Info Blockchain Made Easy with your host, Frank the Crypto Tank. This morning, our cryptocurrency market is coming in at 3.89 trillion. That was a dismal 3. Well, let's look at where we were. When in doubt, we zoom out, right? So let's get to the 30-day and come back to just where we were recently, not too long ago. Well, let's pull this up here. Okay, so we were here recently at 3.6 trillion and the other day, and I said to myself, wow, isn't that interesting here on the 22nd? And I thought, we could even, of course, drop further down than this because we're at 3.57 trillion on 10/17. And if we go back to the 1 year, we see that we were down here in this red pocket down at 2.26 trillion on just before Thanksgiving last year. Excuse me. Now, a lot of people bought crypto during this time, somewhere around here when we were at this low. Not a lot, actually, just a few. Just a few retail players, which is you and me, we bought here. Institutional players, of course, all bought here. A whole bunch of them. And by the way, if we get out, let me finish this point here. If we look now, we're at 3.88 trillion. Yes, I do have a point. We're at 3.89 trillion right now for the crypto market. Point is it moves so fast. We have fear and greed index coming in at 42. We're some points into the fear. We look at Bitcoin, we're at 115,000, 152 for one Bitcoin. But here's my larger point. Let's come back on the charts at Bitcoin back to 2010, back November, before Thanksgiving. And folks were sitting around the table, and I had a buddy of mine, Mark, and I won't say his last name, of course, for security purposes, my buddy Mark that I worked with back in 2010. Shout out to you, brother. Mark loves to surf now. Hats off to you, buddy. My buddy Mark back in the day was building his clear, computer tower, playing the games with on the computer back in 2010. And we were working for a company. We were living in Tennessee. We were living together in an apartment that the company paid for. And one night he said, "Oh no, you got to try this video game. It's so fun." I'm like, "Well, I'm not into that stuff, you know." And he's like, "Oh no, it's so fun." And I said, "Boy, you're really like this crazy genius. You created this tower. Look at this stuff." And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "This video game is crazy." And on a huge TV screen, and it was so fun. And I'm like, "Wow, this is really fun stuff. You adult kids are into these video games. This is so fun." And he said, "Look, I use Bitcoin as I get paid in Bitcoin for this game." So, whoa, he said, "Oh," I said, "That's kind of funny." He goes, no, this thing, Bitcoin, it's a thing, Frank." I'm like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Oh, no, it's going to be a thing. You watch. This is going to be a thing. There's Bitcoin." I'm like, "Yeah, I've never heard of it." He's like, "Oh, well, that's this money that we use for these video games that we do, and we get paid in this Bitcoin. And it's used, it's not real money, obviously, but it can be exchanged for real money and used as real money in these video games." I'm like, that's kind of weird. That sounds interesting. And he goes, you should buy some. People are investing in this. I'm like, huh? And he's like, oh, yeah, people are investing in this thing that we're calling Bitcoin, and they're doing this. And it's going to be worth more someday. So if you invest in it now, put $10 in, it could be worth like $1,000 in the future, you know? And I thought, that's interesting, Mark. This is back in 2010. And by the way, let me get you the date because it's not 2010. I'm sorry. I keep saying this. It was 2011 when this happened because 2010 had happened and we started working for this company. And then it got to be summertime the following year. So it was right around here when he was telling me about it, and it was becoming a thing. Yeah, I remember him saying it's worth this much now, and it was only worth pennies just like some months ago. See, it had just kicked up to get itself for the first time in history over $1. If we look at this chart here on 2/7, see the box there? February 7th, 2011. It is at 90 cents Bitcoin. For the first time in history, it jumps over $1. And my buddy told me about it right here after it happened, right in here, because it became a thing and they ended up being correct. And he was like, see, this is the thing. It's a thing. And boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, I think I'm good. And I never touched it. And he had some that went up and he made a little bit of money from it. Anyway, I talked to him somewhere around here after I went headlong into crypto. Somewhere around here, I bought my face off. Once I saw Bitcoin starting, I bought my face off somewhere around here. And thank God, a good buddy of mine or two told me about crypto. A couple of genius buddies of mine who did very well with crypto and still are. Thank goodness that I had masters in front of me that I latched onto, that I trusted in the real world, including Mark. I trusted him. I knew he was probably right. But then I bought in here and then, of course, was already loaded up by the time we had this nonsense double top dead cat bounce here. But then we came back up and we started rising to glory, and we've been doing it ever since. I already had bags loaded here. But anyway, I talked to him right about here and said, hey, did you get into that crypto thing further, that whole Bitcoin thing? Because it's a whole thing. And he goes, oh, you see what happened there is the answer is no. I got out of it. And I'm like, oh, crap, Mark. So anyhow, let's look at what could happen if somebody was into it here at, let's say, let's say about 2010-ish or so, sometime before Thanksgiving. Bitcoin was at 28 cents. So if somebody said, let me just take a shot, I don't have a lot of money, but let me take $500 and just give it a shot at 28 cents. So $500, never financial advice, divided by 28 cents would have seen that person capture 1,785 Bitcoin. Well, for 1,785 Bitcoin, they now at a price of about 115,000 per Bitcoin or so would be sitting at holding, of course, a meager $205 million before tax. So $500 spent when it started way back when, the old Bitcoin. If one held until now, you'd have $205 million for your efforts. I need to do that and take a deep breath because I did not realize the truth of investing until just about maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago when I started investing into crypto and some other things and learned the truth that investing in finance is being held and kept from the world. It is it's right in front of your face. It's not a conspiracy or anything. It's being put right in front of your feet. Go be a finance major, right? But that means you don't know what you're talking about, because do you hear the way I just said that? I said finance major. That means you don't know what you're talking about. If you knew what you were talking about, you would have said finance major. It's a whole language. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy. We don't call it finance. We call it finance when you know what you're talking about. Or you can call it fintech or whatever. But you don't call it finance anymore. That means you don't understand the language. Anyway, just so you know, guys, this is a game. This finance stuff is a game. And I am a contractor who runs a few businesses, and I'm not going to get into them. I run a couple of contracting businesses and things. But for your purposes to understand who the tank is, I'm essentially a contractor. I mean, yeah, I've got a college degree. Big deal. What the heck does that mean? How silly. Some of the most successful, awesome, well-rounded, incredible human beings and financially sound human beings on the planet who are completely awesome do not have a college degree and didn't take that whole funny little route the way I did and a lot of you did. Don't need a college degree to be an incredible human being in this world. What a lie that's been sold to get into debt. Now, sometimes it does make sense, okay? Same thing with a financial advisor. Sometimes the financial advisor makes sense. Once we are well learned and we take the power into our own hands, if we have an excellent God-given mind and a relatively a swimming IQ that's trying to doggy paddle to the top like I have. I'm trying to doggy paddle to the top of every situation with my meager IQ. But all we need is somewhere just around 100 points or so or above for an IQ, which you think is kind of the average is probably 80, 88 or something, I think, for IQ. But come on, anybody can do this thing. Some of the wealthiest people I watch around me are not really that smart. Okay? In a lot of different ways, a lot of different types of intelligence. So what do you mean by smart, Tank? Right? Okay? There's book smarts, there's emotional intelligence, there's situational awareness intelligence, there's all types of intelligence, right? Right. So when we look at all the different types of intelligence I see people around me who have a lot of money who aren't really that smart, dude. They're not really that smart. They're really not. And it's okay. Don't have to be that smart to amass a lot of wealth. You really don't. Not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything is what I say or do. Especially do not buy the ISO coins, which are, not going to hit them again. Too many times have I hit them, but I will hit this. Let's get back to something like XRP. Now, I'll get to comments in a little bit, guys. The majority of the XRP that the tanker holds in full transparency was purchased around these times here. Around 42, 47 cents or so. Somewhere around here, and then I got busy buying in here. Oh, yes, don't think I didn't. Oh, I definitely got busy buying there, the wife and I. But then I got busy buying here, and I stopped. Because then once we made our pump, I said, I'm good to go. Oh, no, that's not true. I bought more here. Once I got back to my average price, purchase price, which was around 45, 46 cents, something like that, I kept going. I said, I got to keep purchasing. And then we have our Trump pump. Bada boom ba. And then we go to $3, whatever. And then everybody goes, see, XRP, people were saying it could go to $5 coming up in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, no. Suppression not over on XRP. Enjoy your little run here, XRP, for a little bit, buddy. But you will trade sideways and be suppressed for quite some time now. As I've called this here, no, it doesn't mean I know everything about crypto. It's obvious what they do. It's obvious what is done. What must always happen is trade sideways. Go ahead and pump up, but as soon as you pump up, you better trade sideways for a while. Oh, you can kick up again, but you better retrace and correct and come back down and make everybody think that wasn't nothing again. Then go ahead and trade sideways again for a while. See what I mean? See the game, how they play? This is all a game. And by the way, have you seen this game? 2017, 2018 bull run, boom. 2019 double top dead cat bounce bull run, nice. Good job. Bull run that we're in right now. Good job. See the ascending line like we can draw? Ascending or descending line drawn right here. And here's the ceiling where all of these will tip and bump the ceiling. See that? Well, let's just take, I know you do. Now let's take a look at something like XRP. Isn't this interesting that if we go to its all chart, we draw our line kind of across to hit these? And by the way, we'd have to dip down and bump that. And then, so we'd have to draw an inverse bell curve. Interesting. No, we want an ascending or descending trend line coming up here the way we saw in Bitcoin. Why are we not seeing that? Because right here, we got lassoed up right here. Sorry, by the SEC. We were shooting to the moon, leading the whole cryptocurrency market space with real value, real world utility in XRP. Because, of course, we all know the story. We all know the story of Ripple and on-demand liquidity. Its ODL solution settling cross-border payments in 3 to 5 seconds, not 35, but 3 to 5 seconds for pennies. changing the world and moving money now or value at the speed of information, the way we send an email super fast, that we've never done that. We have at best now T1, T2 settlements, which means 1 and 2 day settlements. No, your money is not settled. But Tank, I see it and I can use my money and it says pending in my bank account. No, it's just pending. It's not settled the way which is what is coming, which is RTGS or real-time gross settlements are coming to the financial space. That is what's coming. We finally are going to move value and money at this speed, not 3 to 5 days sitting there saying pending. No, we now are going to move money and settle T0, meaning real-time gross settlement, meaning within 3 to 5 seconds, you go ahead and purchase something or whatever it is, and it is settled. Boom, within 3 to 5 seconds. That's it. Okay, that's what's coming to the financial space. And get that back to the point, what happened, let me get back to full screen on here now so I can yap at you largely. What happened, of course, if anybody is paying attention, is Bitcoin came around as the thing to buy as far as this cryptocurrency and getting around the man. Okay, interesting way to go there. It's a money system. I got a bogey flying around here. I got to stay diligent. I got a bogey dive bombing with a nasty old. I can see his stinger, and then just in the light, it's being illuminated like the top of a Christmas tree. It's insane. He's dive bombing. Here's the deal. Who is it? Shenga. What the heck's her name? Oh boy, the DTCC. The DTCC. Who is that? The head of the DTCC, Shakar, whatever her name is. Good morning, Turkey Base. Good morning, Mario. Whatever she said, whatever that individual had said, Bitcoin is the biggest distraction to the biggest disruption coming to the entire financial space, which is ISO 20022 coins, which is XRP, XLM, XDC, IOTA, Algo, Quant, ADA, HBAR. Why do I always leave HBAR out? That's a crusher. Because it doesn't run on blockchain technology. It's the oddball out. It's the ugly duckling. Oh, that ugly duckling is about to turn into an incredible swan, isn't it? That weird little HBAR, right? Running on hashgraph technology rather than blockchain technology. Different. Some say better. Better in some regards, not as good in other regards. So it does have its lane and its place in which HBAR and Hedera hashgraph and hashgraph technology get employed, which they already are, by the way, for their proper lane and their use case. See, their superpower. Who cares about the shortcomings that they have? We don't use it for its shortcomings. Therefore, they never see the light of day. They are simply used for the lane that they are best suited for, which is the hashgraph technologies. Oh boy, look out what's coming in the lane of hashgraph technologies. Do you guys have your thinking caps on when it comes to crypto and knowing where crypto's going? You don't have to be this genius person. You just have to use your common sense and don't listen to noise and bullcrap. You can figure this out better. Raul Powell I love the guy. He just came on and said he was wrong. God bless him. Good for you, Raul Powell, saying you were wrong about the banana zone, sorry. Yeah, he came on and said, hey, I was wrong about the banana zone this time around. Who cares? He's still right about his thesis in crypto. He's not wrong about that. Nobody is. Crypto ain't going back in the toothpaste, ain't going back in the tube. Genie ain't going back in the bottle. Carefully don't pass out from CO2 asphyxiation, dude. Make sure you take your good gasps of oxygen, please. Guys, this is not difficult to see. Morning, Monsager, and to my regulars who do have the heads screwed on straight. Hey, guys, how about quit being a bunch of freaking wussies in the crypto space? Not you guys. Not Monsager and Mario and Turkey. Not you guys. And talk about the rest of you clowns that are in the crypto space. What in the world are you doing in crypto? You might want to think about another occupation. You might want to think about another hobby. Some of the folks, look, I'm not trying to be mean. Some of the folks in the crypto space might want to think about another, something else to spend your time on. I got a bunch of people watching on Twitter and all over the place. On X, I'm sorry, that are going, it's still called Twitter, I'm so old. That are going, crypto is a dud. Oh, see, blah, blah. Okay. Let me show you something real quick. Let me show all the, not my group and not everybody who's awesome, but let me show all the clowns something out there and all the awesome people something out there. Here, let's try this on for size. Ready? Let's try this on for size. Here, check this out. How about this, YouTube world? How about this, YouTube world? Check this out. Well. Let's check this out. Let's check out none other than this dude. Whoops. Here. I think his name is Brian Rose, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, he's got a few of them, but
fucking moron. Number one is where you start.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, which is weird.
Yeah.
And you might even want to. So okay. So you're not again.
Now I'm here to tell you, my generation ripped the ass out of the world because of the '80s, and I was proud to be one of those that ripped it, fucking savagely, like an animal. And I clearly underestimated the impact that I've had. Okay. The old cheap cliche.
The guy's a freaking genius. He is a genius. And yes, his name is Dan Pena. And yes, he doesn't give two craps about what you think about him. He is a master amongst masters. Okay, so anyway, once you start giving a crap what somebody thinks about you is the minute you start losing your power. Fools do this. Fools care about what you or anybody else thinks about them. I don't care what you think about me. That's how I keep my power. Because as soon as I start giving a crap about what you think about me, I start losing my personal focus and power and my personal truth and path on where I am going and my ability to see outside the foolish game of the Matrix where all the robots play that I love, whom I love dearly. I love all my brothers and sisters dearly. We can say the truth that almost everybody is caught in a mindless program that they would call the right way to do things or whatever, still whatever we want to call it. And about 1 or 2%, like a Dan Pena or this dude is, or you who are watching this channel right now are busted out. You're watching this for any more than even just like 10 seconds. See, because here's what happens. If you are not one of these people and you're one of the folks who's a robot in the world, you will turn this off right away because you will be embarrassed that you've bought the game for so long. You will sit there and say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm one of these people. Here I am at 40 or 50 years old and I have lived all these decades of my life. And oh my goodness, what have I done with all these decades? I have fallen into the game and lived as a wind-up toy that has been wound up and gone like this the entire time of my life. Wow. And then there are some people who are busted out of this, what we call the Matrix, and are quite annoying to the people who are in the Matrix still, because it's the reminder of what little wind-up toys these folks actually are. However, I love them dearly. I really do. And we all are wind-up toys until we're not. See? So it's all of our responsibility to gently wake our brothers and sisters up kindly with love and caring, and to gently wake them up and not throw cold water. You don't throw cold water on your spouse to wake them up in the morning or whatever, right? No, you gently, honey, it's time to wake up. Gentle. We gently wake people up. You don't want to toss cold water on them. All right. So let me be as kind as I can and as gentle as I can. We know the Buddha said that in the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things that were not meant for you. So Jesus is one master. There are other masters that lived on this planet in love and unity with the all. So where are you all? I know where I am, and I love everybody out there. And I hope you guys do jump on board and see the truth of massive gains, not a financial advisor, I've got to jump off because I do have 2 businesses to run actually at this point. I've got one that is on automatic, but I've got 2 businesses I actually have to run. So let me get to them. And before I do, let me get to should I buy XRP, Frank? Everybody asks me. Well, people in my personal life ask me, not everybody, but the people who want to know about crypto ask me. And they're like, should I buy XRP? It's too late. Well, geez, I don't know. Considering considering it's going to at least $500 a coin over the next decade, at least, that is a very reasonable timeline, and I am not a financial advisor. It probably is going to $1,000 a coin in the next decade or 2. Call it 15 years. Just average it, 15 years. It is going to $1,000 or more. Oh, yes, it is, unless it goes away in the world. No signs of that happening. All signs that it is the next Amazon. It is the Amazon of crypto, the way Amazon was a book company. Bubba, what is this little he's on Leno. Hang on, hold on. I'm gonna get it for you. Google. Well, let's play this for you before I do that. Remind me, I'm gonna grab it for you before I start my day. It's important. I'm going to show you Bezos on Leno in the 90s, but hang on, let's get you this.
Financial Services Committee Chairman French Hill is calling for crypto market structure legislation to be passed into law before the U.S. loses ground to Latin America and Europe. Chairman Hill joins us this morning. Mr. Chairman, it's good to see you, and I would ask you, what do you...
This is a month ago, this interview.
But all you got to say is... you're asking for what's in that bill that the Senate is sitting on, right? There's a bill ready to go that would accomplish what you're asking for?
You bet, Joe. Good morning. Great to be with you. Happy 30th anniversary to the SPLOC.
Thank you.
Glad to be on. Exactly right. We passed in the House in July the Clarity Act, which got 78 Democratic votes, meaning we had a strong bipartisan vote over the suspension of vote level in the House, meaning more than 290 members came together to vote for the Clarity Act, which is that market framework which will make America the most competitive digital asset nation in the world when you combine it with the Genius Act that President Trump signed into law in July, which is the dollar-backed payment stablecoin legislation.
And you are somewhat gratified with what the Trump administration has done. There's been some progress, obviously, with the Genius Act, but what I didn't realize was how more advanced, is that the right word, for crypto use in the economy is in South America. And maybe even in Europe, in terms of legislation, where we're definitely ahead with liquidity, and we've had some good IPOs, but we're lagging without this structure in place.
That's right. We can't be competitive and lead the nation in fintech if we don't have this market framework. I told President Trump back in July that if you sign the Genius Act and you pass it, it's like passing a bill that authorizes the use of a cell phone, but you have no cell towers. You don't have the rules for custody, for dealing, for exchanging, for serving as a trader, for how you're going to...
Do you get it? I think you do.
Inside the financial services industry. So we need both. They're both essential. And as you point out, the Senate is now considering the Clarity Act under Tim Scott's leadership in the Banking Committee and John Bozeman's leadership in the House of the Senate Ag Committee. And we hope that they will take prompt action on that this fall during the October and November timeframe. I'd love to see the Clarity Act pass the Senate before the end of the year.
What? Thanksgiving is going to be freaking crazy. Anyway, I got to end this. I got to get to my other jobs, guys, and I have so much to give you. Maybe we should continue this in tomorrow's episode. Before I have an episode, I think I already did. I hope you have an awesome day today, you guys. Not a lot going on this morning in the chat, which is fine. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you have a lovely day today. You know I love you guys. Mario Monsager, Turkey Base. All my regulars, Marnie, Luke, everybody out there in the community. And the viewers that are on now, I can see how many folks are on now. We've got quite a few folks on. Thanks for joining us here on Crypto Info Blockchain Made Easy with your host, Frank the Crypto Tank. Please do not forget, tap like and subscribe down below. Do not forget to tap our Caleb and Brown link down below so you do not get caught out in the cold this time around on your cryptocurrency bull run cash out. They do have an app now that's available for iOS, by the way. And there is also a telephone number if you go to Caleb and Brown's site, and you can just let them know that the tank sent you, or you can click our link down below. Please give us our credit. You will gain from using Caleb and Brown. We will gain just a little bit by turning you on to them. So please help us. We think that's crucial, and we deserve that for helping you. Go learn about Caleb and Brown and see what their brokerage services offer you. And it's much different than the exchanges. A lot of people are going to, oh boy. Hey, I want to say this nicely. Not everybody is meant to be in crypto, guys. A lot of you guys are going to be very disappointed. You're going to be millionaires on paper. You will not connect to a Caleb and Brown. You will be on an exchange like an Uphold or a whatever or a Coinbase trying to cash your money out, and you will be stuck. And you will be crashed on exchanges very likely. I can't say that definitely will happen. We have seen the track record of these exchanges. Might want to think about a Caleb and Brown. I'm going to end on that point, and I hope you guys have the best day ever. Get into our Patreon. Have a great start to your week, which is our lovely Monday. Set the tone proper. Remember that a smile does confuse an approaching frown. It's not my quote, but it does do that. So give everything and every situation and every person a smile today. Think about why you should not be looking at these three. And think about our Patreon that is launched. And every 11th member we're giving away for free. And no, we did not forget about you, Jock. I'm still getting our guy to make sure that he can to get your Patreon going, your free Patreon. We will do that. You guys have a banner day. I hope that you enjoy it. I appreciate you joining us here live on Crypto Info Blockchain Made Easy with the Tanker. Have a good one.